The majority of the Indian population doesn't have the money to think about health. That is the unfortunate truth.
Do you think that healthy in India is just branding?
Health in snacking is an add-on. First thing what people want to have is the taste bud. Just the chatak nahi lagegi, after they know it's going to have your product. So we've got the Indian masalas of the world which people like, but then we've also got some interesting flavors like Smoky BBQ, salted caramel.
Tell me something about your Shark Tank experience.
It was pretty nerve-wracking.
What do you think is the most prominent fake advice the founders give?
It's just, I would say,
So hello everyone and welcome to the Boardroom Brew with Bansari. And I'm so grateful to share Brew's couch today with a guy who's made binging so smart. So hi Karan, how are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having us.
I'm really grateful to have you on the couch as well. I would really like to have a very introductory start. I would like to know you. That what would you want to be known? Could you introduce yourself?
Great. So I am basically from a small town in Maharashtra. I'm from Nagpur. Studied out there. Then I came to Pune for my graduation. And I always thought that, I want to I thought I was very comfortable in marketing and sales. And my interest, but my passion was cars. Okay. So I somehow found the internship with Zig Wheels, which is at that point of time, it was one of those shows which came on ET Now, one of the news channels. So I scripted the show. I test drove the cars, etc. So it was a lot of fun. But then over a period of time, I thought, after speaking to a few people, I thought that, probably that particular domain is not for me in the long run. So I did my MBA post that.
Okay.
And then I landed a sales job again in the media industry itself. I slogged for, sorry,
It's
I have to
fine.
beep that, I think. For about 5 to 6 years in Mumbai itself. We had my office was right behind here. My first office, in BKC. So we used to do about 7 to 8 meetings in one day. Come to office in the morning at 9, do our reporting, go out, do 6 meetings across Bombay, come back in the evening and report again. So it was a very, very difficult time, but it was the most valuable time for me because I learned the tricks of the trade in terms of how to negotiate, how to build relationships with people, how to find leads, how to convert them, how to negotiate, all of those things. So I owe this place a lot in terms of my bosses, etc., who taught me these kind of things. So after that, I decided to move back to Pune. Started my own ad agency. So that was my first stint in entrepreneurship. We did that for about 3 years. Then I thought that, probably to scale further in my life, that is how I try to shift my focus into something like a product company. So even the first stint of my entrepreneurship with the first company, that also taught me a lot of things, a lot of ups and downs, failures, what to do, what not to do. That I think those learnings I took and used it in my new startup.
That's lovely. Yeah. So where did the spark of the Healthy Binge exactly start?
Right. So this goes way back to 2016, 2017. My partner, who's also my first cousin. So he was in Australia for 15 years and we were pretty close. We grew up together. So they were planning to come, he and his family were planning to come back, migrate back to India. And we used to discuss in 16, 17 that if you're going to come, what are you going to do? Are you going to do a job or are you going to do business or what? So then we kind of started brainstorming on a few ideas, and then we finally decided, when he came back in 2018-ish, we sat down together and we decided that, what category or what sector we thought that which is going to boom in the next decade or 20 years in India. So we tried to find those things, and what we could also do. Obviously, there are hundreds of things to do, but with our limitations, we thought let's narrow down on health and nutrition as a category. This was in 2018, 2019. Before COVID, we didn't know COVID was coming, obviously. So we thought that okay, this might be a very interesting way to go forward. So we thought convenient nutrition is something what we thought people are busy in their lives, they don't have time. So we wanted to give products which are convenient as well as nutritionally dense. So we came up with two sets of products. So one was something called FRK, which is Fortified rice. It's basically rice which is ingrained with vitamins and minerals. So D3, your vitamin B12, all these deficiencies which are there in all of us, we take supplements for it. We found a way to integrate those minerals into kernels of rice. So this was a very niche kind of a thing. Nobody had, like there were 3 or 4 manufacturers in the country at that point of time. So we thought let's do that, and also parallelly also develop the recipes for the Healthy Binge products for the FMCG part. So no idea in manufacturing. We went to China in 2019. Obviously researched quite a bit. Went to China, locked down the suppliers, got the machine to India, understood everything. We ran the machines ourselves. Set up the manufacturing facility. Didn't have budgets in terms of how to set the layout and all of those things. Learned AutoCAD, which is the architectural software ourselves. Did all of those things. That was the initial hustle which we had to do, which we had limited budgets, right, for it. So these were the entire initial years of our company where we had, when we thought of it, we also thought that, okay, if this doesn't work, we have a fallback, which is, So the rice product, what I was talking to you about. So as I mentioned, there were only 3 to 4 manufacturers who were doing this, and the government made it mandatory for the millers to use the products to provide in the midday meal programs. Okay. So suddenly our demands really went up like crazy. We didn't have time. We were running 24/7 the operations. This went on for about 2 years. Whatever we had invested into the plant and machinery, the capex kind of at least went break even immediately within a year and a half. So probably that was an opportunity which we saw, we grabbed, and obviously luck also favored us at the time. And then post that, we were also developing parallelly the FMCG products, the Healthy Binge snacks, because we thought let's not have too much dependence on one thing, because obviously a lot of elements are there. Government is involved. The rice is a very seasonal kind of a product. So we thought let's have a plan B as well. So eventually, what happened was lot of incumbents came through, red tapes went through because of the government criteria in terms of their tenders, etc. So then eventually we got out of that business, and then we launched Healthy Binge products in 2021. So
and
this is what
you
happened.
were saying that there were 2 products. So.
Yeah, so the rice one and the Healthy Binge products.
Okay.
I'm categorizing them as one is rice and then one is Healthy Binge.
Got it.
So even for Healthy Binge, it's an interesting story. Pranav, my cousin, who was working with farmers for a couple of years after he came to India. He was working in an NGO. So he found that they were only growing wheat or sugarcane, because that is what gets you the money for the farmers. So millets was a part of their farming, but was very marginalized. Very small part of their farms were kept aside for growing millets. So we thought that our grandfathers, our grandparents used to consume a lot of millets, jawar, bajra, ragi, all of those things, and those are the things which were the only ones which were available. What the plethora of things what we have as option, they didn't have, and they used to make a lot of things from there, and they used to derive their nutrition from that as well. So we thought this is an ingredient which we can definitely use. But we thought let's not overcomplicate it or overthink it. Let's give people what they're used to consuming, which is chips and snacks and things like that. We didn't want to change people's thought process or their habits. That is why we thought the form factor we can look at is as chips and snacks, but get the ingredients very nutritious. So for example, high protein, high fiber. These are the gluten. They are all gluten free, the millets. So take that but at the same time give them the taste, because ultimately that is what people are going to have. They don't.
Yes.
Health in snacking is an add-on.
Correct.
According to me, the first thing what people want to have is the taste part. जब तक चटक नहीं लगेगी तब तक no one is going to have your product.
Definitely.
So definitely our products are nutritionally dense. We give 5 grams of protein per pack naturally, which is great. It's got high dietary fiber, which helps in your digestion. There's no cholesterol, no trans fat. It's gluten free, and some of them are vegan as well. So and the calories are also reasonable for a snack. So we do about 180 kilocalories, which is reasonable if you consider snacking as products. I mean, for example, the fried legacy brands, the fried chips. I don't want to take names, but they'll probably have double the fats and calories. So keeping those things in mind, we said that okay, fine. We need to tick mark the best possible items. For example, as I mentioned, the proteins, the calories, the fibers, the no cholesterol, etc. But at the same time, we worked a lot on the taste. We really spent a lot of time in ensuring that the shape, what we have of the product, the Healthy Binge products, we've kind of made the shape ourselves. You won't get that shape. So that the seasoning will stick to the all the sides of the product. So when you have it, the first bite what you have and the last bite what you have, it's going to be the same in terms of the taste and the texture. So we crafted that particular shape of the product to make sure that the seasoning will stick to all sides, so that the customer experience is right from the first crunch. He gets that delight, and it stays until he finishes that munch of that particular product. So these are few things which we really slogged, which obviously people won't be able to see, but as you mentioned that we want to talk about what actually went behind the scenes. So I'm just trying to tell you that. So about the taste, what I was trying to tell you is that India is very vast. A huge country, different taste palettes all across the country. If you go to small pockets, they'll have different, even if you go 50, 100 kilometers east or west, they'll have different kind of taste preferences. So to make sure, we obviously did a lot of market research, tried to understand a few things as to what people in generic like. So we've got the Indian masalas of the world, which people like, but then we've also got some interesting flavors like Smoky BBQ, salted caramel. We had developed initially a flavor called sour cream wasabi, which was so awesome because it was very close to my heart. But unfortunately, it didn't work, because people are not buying it as much. Because see, I'll tell you again, whatever sells in mass is what we have to cater to.
Definitely.
So that was probably too early also, in my opinion. Probably if we launch it again, it might work. But yeah, so that's what we understood, pockets wherein, okay, we have 2-3 flavors which are going to work universally, and 2-3 specialty ones. So we have one Smoky BBQ and one Cajun spice as well. So mix of Indian international flavors is what we thought we should do, and that is what we've done, and it's working out pretty well. So our bestsellers right now, in fact, are a quinoa Smoky BBQ and a Ragi Chaatpata Chat. So again, international and Indian mix.
That's lovely. So did you see the market gap and then build the product, or the product was, birthed before that?
Yeah, so as I mentioned at the start, we thought we narrowed down on health and nutrition as a category for the next decade. We thought it's going to do well, and we thought that India is a big snacking market as well. We thought definitely there is a scope for these kind of products, because we've been consuming the same old things for a long time.
And they're terrible.
Exactly. They're bad. Earlier it was good because there was a novelty. There were multinational companies. We were not used to having that kind of quality of product. But it's okay. Now we need to move on, right?
Yes, definitely.
and we need to back Indian guys. India is so, the entrepreneurs are so hardworking. I think this is my appeal to whoever's watching this. Try to support more of Indian brands. The multinational brands are already full. Their pockets are full of money. So I mean, try to.
Yeah, and it's also not. It's about the motive that you have is to provide
Exactly.
healthy snacking, which is
so
very
there's a
important.
lot of things. Farmer empowerment. We are buying ingredients from the farmers, the millets from the farmers. We are employing rural women folk. About 80% of our the factory workers are women. So we are providing them mindful employment. Apart from that, obviously, I mean, the ecosystem, for example, wherever we are selling, so for example, quick commerce, so many riders are employed with them. So indirectly, we are also providing them the employment services.
It's lovely.
So yeah,
I'm so happy when you said that you empower women so much. That's lovely.
Yeah, I mean, it's so awesome that some of them have been with us from day one. So and so our factories in a little outer part of Pune. It's a semi-rural kind of a place.
Okay.
So obviously the families who stay around that side, the women come from nearby this thing. So for them also, it's such a nice thing as a pride for them, because they've seen us grow as well, right?
Yes.
So they've stuck around when we were zero. They were with us. Even now they're with us. So so that it really helps. When you have support internally, obviously it helps to for us to kind of keep going. So obviously now we've got different teams, marketing, production, and all of those things. But it's always good to have your ground on the feet. You need to have your feet on the ground in terms of we go and talk to everyone in the team. Pranav is basically looking after manufacturing and operations.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's always, whenever we kind of interact with them, we feel that the sense of pride is there amongst them.
That's lovely. Yeah. See, I'll tell you why did I ask you about you seeing the market first or building the product is because something that I have noticed very much. Yeah. Even if a podcast that I'm listening to or any founder says something about it, I think these days D2Cs moreoverly have been making storytelling such a established concept that we went through so much after building this product, and there's so much emotional story attached to it. I mean, yes, there should be emotion attached to it, but I don't think that
it's an overkill.
Yeah, it's an overkill. Yeah, and then all those pastels coming in, and then them being so emotional about they're going through so much. Like, I do agree that an entrepreneur goes through a lot building it, but then sometimes half the stories are actually made up, right? So I like the way you're very direct and crisp about it, that I came in, I saw the market, this was something that I feel that should be implemented.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, see, at the end of the day, it's a business, right? We have to look at the bottom lines, we have to look at the projections. Storytelling definitely is a very important part of it, in my opinion. But at the same time, you can't lose focus on the most important thing, right? The numbers. If they're not coming, then everything else is going to be a waste. So yeah, definitely. So when you mentioned about market or product, we saw the market. We saw the opportunity in terms of if there are n number of players. If the category is upcoming, you need to have first mover advantage. If you did so, then and I think there's nothing wrong with that. Because we also pivoted, right? So we were doing something else before, and then we did something else. So I mean, you need to be in it to understand what is working for you as a company, as against relying on trends. So that is something which I'm seeing a lot. I think, to add to your point, I'm seeing this a lot, that just trying to hop on trends, which is the wrong thing to do, because I mean, tomorrow something else is for sure going to come. So you can't keep changing your your ethos, brand ethos, like that.
Definitely. Yeah. Do you think that healthy in India is just branding?
In terms of
in terms of snacking only.
So yeah, absolutely, you're right. But post-COVID, things are changing quite a bit. I mean, the majority of the Indian population doesn't have the money to think about health. That is the unfortunate truth, because I mean, that's the last thing on their mind, because they're hustling every day. I mean, 2 shifts they must be working. So there was a stat somewhere about how the number of gyms in India is minuscule as compared to some of the other countries. Because we, as a culture, we don't have open spaces. Sports in schools are not encouraged as much. So as a culture, we are not used to moving. You're not used to exercising. Those kind of things are now coming into the fore, where people now are realizing they are dying early, heart attacks are happening more frequently. So now we are saying, okay, we need to focus on health as well. So earlier, probably, as I mentioned, there were when our couple of generations earlier, they didn't have so many issues because I mean the lifestyle was better, food was better. I mean, what I mentioned as millets, they were consuming. One of the examples. Fruits, vegetables, everything was consumed much more. The nutrition used to come from there. So the health, and they used to move around much more. So, and that has changed in the last 20 years. So people, A, don't have the time. B, inclination is also question mark. So definitely there is a resistance somewhere. But at the same time, I'm sure you must have also seen the plethora of influencers, reels, etc., talking about myths, talking about what you need to consume, what you don't need to consume. There's a fair bit of fear mongering as well, in my opinion, where people are putting in fear, saying that, okay, ye khaya to ye hoga, and all of those things. But let's see, everyone's got to do what they have to do. But at the end of the day, but at least people are getting aware. So that is a very good part, that at least people are getting aware that, for example, things like palm oil, high quantities of palm oil is bad for you. Cholesterol is bad for you. Fried is bad for you. At least ultra processed food, having it frequently is really bad in the long term. So those kind of things, at least people, it's registering in their minds to a certain extent. I'll give an example as well. So we sell a lot in corporate offices. So corporate tech parks in Bangalore, in Gurgaon, Bombay, etc. So the large offices where 1,000 employees are there sitting in one office. So there are employee engagement programs or things like that, where vending machines or pantries are kept, where product, snacks, eatables are kept for the employees, which they can redeem with the Sodexos and all of those things. So we've been receiving calls from the HRs or the distributors over the last 1 year saying that they want healthier options than the existing ones. So the employees are asking the HRs or the admin guys that, okay, you've got these products, okay, fine, but we want these as well, because they are not fried or things like that. They're these are healthier options, not the traditional legacy players what we were speaking about. So those are the ones which are easily available, and those are cheapest ones. So obviously those are the ones which are available the most. But now with this information sharing amongst peers, Instagram, etc., they are also demanding products. So we've been selling quite a bit in those locations, which gives us an idea that obviously those are the most educated people around in the industry, in our TG, right? So wahan se aa raha hai, matlab definitely there's a pull which is coming for these kind of products.
Yeah, I think media has played a very prominent role while changing people's mindsets towards it. But like, if you see a lot of products that we Indians consume on a very daily basis, it is not that great. Even a normal packet of bread is actually not great. People right now which are shifting towards a lot of health oriented stuff are people who can kind of afford it, to be honest. Now right now a normal person in India cannot afford like a sourdough bread, okay, because Vibs is not good for their health, right? They cannot do that. So I think that is also something that's very important. If you see right now, sports is really booming right now. Like people are playing paddle right now, but it's just a certain tier that's playing,
absolutely.
And there's certain
it's a
tier
small
that's
niche,
it's like a certain tier going for healthier versions of stuff. It is impacting our health as well.
Absolutely.
Right. So that was one thing. So do you think that people are still finding it like not just like if you're giving your products to like a corporate office, right? People over there are pretty well aware about stuff. But something that I personally want as a person is that every single person in India, may it even be a hawker, okay, they should also be aware about about their health, or they should be aware about it, right? So that is one thing. Over there people are very aware about it, but I don't think that a a huge population of India is still, conscious about their health.
Yeah, absolutely. They're seeing a lot of orders from tier 2, tier 3 as well. So ऐसा नहीं है कि वहाँ पे नहीं है, वहाँ पे भी, I mean, obviously the reels are reaching them as well. So in fact, I mean, they have got a lot more time to kind of consume media because they're obviously not traveling as much as we are. But we also get orders from there, and the purchasing power out there is is a lot. I mean, they've got a lot of money. So money is not the problem. Access is a problem.
Okay.
So I mean, because they'll have limited access to products because वहाँ पे उतना नहीं आता है products. But now with online coming in, it's much obviously easier.
Shark Tank's great, man. Shark Tank's, one of the reasons where people actually, understood, because if you see, your packaging also is like purple and orange, right? So it looks like a premium product.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
people, even though they've not checked the price point, they'll go like, probably it's expensive, right?
Yeah.
So even though they've not checked it,
yeah,
but
definitely.
I think Shark Tank as a medium of marketing, I think really helped that doubt very much.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great tool because you get the reach, right, which you won't get otherwise. So we reached a lot of households, both India and abroad. Even till date, I'm not kidding, we still get calls from distributors, etc. And then as just inquisitiveness, I asked them, कहाँ से आपको मालूम पड़ा हम लोग का product? Some guy from Rishikesh, Dehradun, that side they'd called. So नहीं आपका episode अभी देखे है YouTube पे. I'm like, okay, great. it's doing its job. So yeah, I mean, for sure, for any entrepreneur, I mean, Shark Tank, no Shark Tank, whatever eyeballs, marketing, reach you get, you should grab it, because at the end of the day, especially in consumer brands, because you need to be shouting from the rooftops, okay, this is my product, this is my brand. So whatever comes your way, you should really take it with both hands.
Tell me something about your Shark Tank experience.
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I'll be honest. Pretty nerve-wracking. So I'll tell you. So I mean, I'm sure you know there are like 2-3 rounds which happen. No, okay. So you need to apply first online. Then the long form which is there, which you need to fill up. Then if you get selected in that, then there's a next stage where you need to send them a video pitch. Okay. We send them a video pitch, and then the third round was a audition round, which happens in each city, the bigger cities. So they call people for an audition, and that audition is exactly like how you see the Shark Tank on air. So there'll be like a panel which will be sitting, obviously the producers team itself. So, and they'll ask the similar kind of questions. And you need to pitch also in the same flow to the panel. So that's obviously, but that was a smaller one, about 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes ka interaction hota hai. But I mean, they're trying to see if you're prepared for the camera, if your idea is good, those kind of things. So that happened. So 3 rounds out there happened, and then obviously the 4th round is the final one if you get selected. So I think when we went in season 2, there were, I think, 90,000 applicants which were there, and I think I think around 200 odd were selected for the final round, and out of that I think 60 or 75 got funded out of those. So got the deal on there. So obviously the numbers are stacked up against you. So there were a lot of people who did the last round of shooting as well, but they didn't get aired. Because that's the prerogative of the producers of Sony. So I mean, it's up to them who they want to show on air. So there are a lot of people like that as well. So yeah. So I mean, and ultimately, obviously, it's your luck which also plays out, right? So yeah. I mean, So they call you to Mumbai for about 3 days. I think 3 or 4 days. They kind of prepare you as to the flow of the shoot and all of those things. There's no cuts in the actual episode, in the actual shoot. Whatever happens out there.
It's not scripted.
It's not scripted whatsoever. It's completely on the spot. Whatever, and in fact, I'm telling things like the reactions. Obviously, it's about a 1.5 hour kind of a shoot which happens for each pitch. And then it's cut to about 15-17 minutes for the air. So obviously, a lot more things happen, but they show you the abridged version, obviously, because utna kam time hota hai. Yeah, I mean, so it was like pretty phenomenal because as I mentioned, 4 days earlier they called us, and there's a 3-day shoot. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday were the shoots, and we didn't know which day which we were going to shoot for, but we had to be there throughout those 3-4 days from like long hours on the sets. It gets a little draining at the end of the day because you're rehearsing also your pitch, and also at the same time you're sitting there thinking, waiting. So, all that anxiety builds up, right? And you won't believe it. Ye hote, ultimately, our pitch was the last pitch. Of the day, of the night. Like it ended at, I think, 11:30, 12 or something.
Yeah.
We were tired. Obviously exhausted. They were tired and exhausted. I think at the end of the day, they were also like, last pitch hai, khatam karo, let's get out. Like, let's give them the money and like, let's get out. So no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, it was obviously it was exhausting. But I think when we went inside the tank, obviously the energies came out. Somehow we kind of got through it, and it was a success out there.
You were great on that episode, trust me.
Thank you. It was I think now in hindsight, I feel it's been years. I think it's been 2 years back. I think it was.
Yeah.
A lot more things have happened post that. I mean, So I mean, for founders, it's like, okay, on to the next one, because always you're either fighting fires. Or some new accounts, some new issues, or whatever, or something or the other is happening. So yeah.
How would you describe yourself as a founder? Just because Shark Tank daily experience, you said. Just a curious question.
As a founder?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty calm.
Okay.
Externally, at least I'm very calm. Internally, you'll have to ask my wife.
You're shaking your leg. You're lying. This man's lying.
This is from day one, before being a founder as well. So as I said, internally, externally calm. Internally, you need to ask my wife. She'll give you the scoop. She bears the brunt of most of it, most of my irritations and all of those things. But yeah, I think you need to be balanced. That is, I think, the most important thing.
Definitely.
What we were discussing earlier about trends.
Yeah.
Though, I mean, I've been seeing this a lot, wherein people are just going towards particular trends, be it product, be it funding, be it resources. A lot of things come and go, but you need to have balance and focus on to what your thought process is.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, because of YouTube, Instagram, social media, people get swayed quite a bit. अरे उसने ऐसा किया, उसने ऐसा रेस किया, इतना इनका सेल हुआ, इतना नहीं हुआ, whatever, those kind of, ये product अभी AI है, तो earlier it was blockchain, Web 3.0, now it's AI. So obviously these are things which are going to come and go, but you need to be sure at least 60 to 70% in that direction. You might do pivot here and there, but you need to stick to your guns, I feel, and not get swayed by people's opinion, which I feel is there. So yeah.
As you mentioned that a lot of people, either compare themselves, or as founders as well, compare themselves looking at other founders' growth. That's what I think you're trying to say, right? What do you think do you watch podcasts?
Yeah, a few.
Few, okay.
Yeah, not a lot.
Okay, nice. So what do you think is the most prominent fake advice the founders giving?
Fake, I mean, obviously fake, you can't call it fake. It's just, I would say, for the views instead.
Okay.
That is what gets you the views, right? So according to that, people kind of seed in their opinions and things like that. And
if somebody who wants to start like a snacking brand, what would you like advise them?
Don't.
Okay.
No.
Okay. And why is that?
No, I won't say. I'm just kidding. Definitely, advice is that you need to work on the product. I think that is something which we did quite a bit. We invested in manufacturing as well, which not a lot of people do. So I think the first advice would be to work on the product completely in terms of trying to find the product market fit even before, in terms of do a lot of testings with people, with real people, different cohorts of people. You won't get 100% there, or at least you'll get 60-70% closer to what the customer wants, so that later on there are no issues. Because once you're scaling, then you don't want to have product issues, because then you go 10 steps ahead, 10 steps back. So that kind of a momentum shift shouldn't happen in a business. So that's why I always say that product is very important at the start. If you put in your number of hours at the start, then आपको बाद में problem नहीं आएगी, बाद में और time जाता है, time पैसा बहुत जाता है if you don't work on it. So there are a lot of third-party manufacturers which are there. Everyone does white labeling. Not a lot of them understand everything of the. It can be food, it can be health and wellness, beauty. There are a lot of manufacturing products in this consumer space. Not all the founders understand to the depth of it. So my advice would be go to the depth of each and every ingredient, use cases, disadvantages, advantages. So थोड़ा आपको उसमें invest करना चाहिए initially, so that because you're not fooling anyone, right? Ultimately you need to understand and believe your product, because tomorrow कोई उठ के बोल देगा अरे आपके product में ये है ये नहीं है, blah blah blah. So you need to have your own stand.
Research.
Yeah,
stand.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay, nice. What is the weirdest customer review or that you've taken back and implemented in a product?
So, I mean, I'm very close in terms of that part of the business where people want to talk to us, give obviously complaints. Some of them come, feedbacks, good feedbacks as well. So, in fact, recently we got one feedback from a customer saying that she loves our products. She described probably about 2-3 paragraphs on how much she likes the products, and I was so happy about it. And then came the negative part. Yeah, she like, I had just one complaint on your pack. I want the pack to be filled up to the brim. That is my only negative part, because it's so good. I don't want to even waste a single inch of the product inside. So then she's like, I know because of the air, you need to fill in the nitrogen for transportation and all. She only answered her own question. But then she's like, is there any other solution? I would love to kind of do research on it. And I will go and try to sell people that how the filled up product is better for you and this and that. So I'm like, okay, that's so awesome that the customer is trying to solve a problem for us as well. So yeah, I mean, these are a few of the ones which we got.
Love. You could have asked her to like buy 10 packets, open one pack and fill. But yeah, okay, fine. So would you want to have like 100 loyal customers or like 10,000 people randomly trying?
So out of those 10,000, at least 5,000 are going to be my customers. So definitely the 10,000.
Okay.
Because we've got a really great customer repeat ratio as well. So I know the number, that's why I'm telling you. That's why I took the other option. Because I know for a fact that when those 10,000 try, the 5,000 are going to be loyal customers.
Like, I know you're a health first brand, right? But you're serving in a country which is convenience first, right? So do you think, is there like a problem in the market or something like that? Are they that welcoming, or it's still yet to?
So when we started in 21, it was really slow.
Okay.
Awareness happened post-COVID. International Year of Millet happened in 2023.
Okay.
Lot more as influencers, information, etc. came to the fore. People started understanding the value of their health and what they're putting, especially the young parents.
Yeah.
So they are not giving their kids like 5-year-olds, 6-year-olds. They're not giving what we ate. We used to eat junk, right, when we were kids. So that is not what is happening. So the buck is stopping there. Gym goers, schools, colleges, office goers. So that is the entire gamut and the spectrum where people's mindsets are changing. They might not have it 100%. Like out of 10 times, they'll have it 6 or 7 times. For indulgence, they'll have, because वो hangover है ही सब में कि बॉस मैं पार्टी में गया, हाउस पार्टी में, and if the host is having those chips, then he'll have it. I mean, दूसरा option नहीं, I'll have it. But as a at least 5 days in a week, 4 to 5 days in a week, he'll make sure कि मैं effort डाल रहा हूँ कि at least 2-3 days I'm going to the gym, or I'm working out or yoga or whatever.
Yeah.
And on the weekend, I'm having butter chicken and beer. But at least 4-5 days, I'm having healthier खाना, घर का खाना. तो वो at least वो shift हो गया है. At least in the metros for people in the age group of post 30-35. So that change we are seeing in our customer cohorts as well, wherein we understand our TG, who's buying, which metros, which areas in the metros, कहाँ से खरीद रहे लोग. So all those matrices we are trying to track and trying to craft our marketing and communication also towards them.
Okay. You mentioned house parties, right? So this took me back. I had gone to a coffee rave. And that's where I saw, healthier chips over there.
Right.
Okay. But they I did not know which ones what, because they're served in a plate.
Platter, huh?
Yeah. So it's like that. So I think that concept is also now being changed. Clubbing is no longer a cool concept. Okay. I would rather go for a marathon and sip on coffee.
That probably your generation will help us with that insight. I have no insight on that. I've just read about it.
But it was great. But I would now like reverse the table. Okay. If you were me right now, what would you ask yourself? What would you want to ask yourself?
Where do we go to travel or party? At 17, I'll be very frank. As I told you earlier, I don't think we were that serious.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm being honest. But obviously things have evolved. People are getting more kind of involved in their careers because of the situation around. But yeah, I think if I were 17, 18 and if I were looking at my career options, I would definitely say that initial 5 to 7 years are the most important of your career when you start working. Put everything, whatever you have, forget about timings, forget about ego, forget about this is my domain. Think about कि मैं क्या I can absorb from this particular place. If I'm working at my first company, I want to know uska, if I'm not even in sales, I want to know how we go to pitch, what kind of negotiations are done, creative में क्या चल रहा है, product में क्या चल रहा है, engineering में क्या चल रहा है. Try to absorb a lot of things because that is what is going to shape your brain ultimately कि आपको आगे जाके क्या करना है. Because if you're stuck to one thing, saying that okay मेरे को boss ने इतना job दिया, मैं इतना ही करने वाला हूँ या करने वाली हूँ, you get really restricted and then people get burnt out, bored. They're like, it's just another job. But उनका job है कि आपसे काम करवाना, but your job is to also kind of understand different matrices of the company, different facets of the company, because that you need to do for yourself, not for your boss. So, because you need to grow as an individual, as a person. I see a lot of people not taking that effort, the younger generation, because they are doing what they've been told to do. But I think you need to slog a lot in the initial years. Not because it's the hustle culture, but just for yourself, because you need to find yourself, because आपको नहीं मालूम है. You're very naive, you're young. I told you initially I wanted to be an editor or a writer in a car show, in an automobile show.
Yeah.
So I thought that when I was young, but later on when I became a little mature, I thought no, in the long run something else is more beneficial for me. So try everything, but try to do a lot more than what is expected from you.
We have normalized munching on unhealthy brands so much, and how do you change that?
So this is exactly what we set out to do as a mission of the company. Through our products, wherein we have a plethora of health benefits ingrained in the product, like it's high in protein, high in fiber, there's no cholesterol, there's no trans fat, it's 100% baked, there's no palm oil in the products. At the same time, we've made sure that it's as crunchy and as tasty as a regular legacy fried chip brand. So that is what we set out to do. We want to make sure that the customers experiences the same kind of crunchiness or the flavors what they're used to having, but in a healthier avatar, which is the Healthy Binge.
That's nice. Do you think we as a market are pretty rigid to new things?
I think no. There's so many new brands which have come in. A lot of people are trying different products across the country. So no, I think we as a nation are used to now trying new things as well.
Where can people find you?
So we're there on quick commerce platforms like Zepto, Swiggy, Instamart, Big Basket, Amazon, our own website, and a few retail stores as well in cities.
Where can they follow you on your socials?
You can follow us on _Healthy Binge on
Correct.
Instagram.
I hope you guys like this episode. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Boardroom Brew with Bansari, and I'm coming up with more brewed content. Thank you.